Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel or our website. It's in the description below. Reach out to me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing an SIHH 2018 release, 42mm in stainless steel. This is a limited edition of 1,000 pieces. It is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Polaris Memovox. Celebrating 50 years since the definitive E859 reference, the Polaris 68. This is a diving alarm that works as a dress watch or a sports watch. Now it's 42mm in diameter, and as this version features a sapphire rather than the plexiglass original, it's a lot thinner at 15.9mm, 48.6mm from lug to lug. The watch is contemporary in its 21mm lug spacing. Throw it on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference. It's a large watch, but it's not an oversized watch. It's got a good fit, and as you can see, the short and stubby lugs in this down the barrel shot wrap around the edge of the wrist rather than flare out. Here's a cuff shot. It'll fit underneath a jacket sleeve, but not the tightest of dress shirts. And then here's your over-the-top shot. I'd recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters, but probably no smaller given the bulk of the case. It's not as thick as the original, but it's still not a thin watch by any means. Now, taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, you can see it comes with a calfskin strap, sheer sides showing the layers of construction. It's a sort of reddish brown, and it has a monotone stitch. You can see on the underside, this is a brand new JLC factory strap, calfskin on the underside, and the watch includes the latest generation of JLC folding clasp in matching stainless steel, double folding, fully polished, and you can see there's actually a button you can press on the underside to detach it from the strap for rapid strap swapping. You can see the JL logo externally and a combination of polish and satin. There's also polish and satin on the case. As you can see, the polish is used to accent. The bezel is very minimal with a short vertical section. It's stepped in from the case band, and then there are polished bevels that expand at the end of the lugs. The lug ends, downturned, are also polished, and you can see the case is handsome with lugs stepped out subtly from the case band in a longitudinal satin finish for contrast with the polish. The lug hoods are satin finished, and here you can see another respect in which this is very much a modern Polaris, not a reissue or a tribute watch. The original would have featured non-branded quadrille, or basically a quadrant cut, essentially a grid cut into the tops of the crowns. Here you have the triple JL logos, but the crowns still serve the same purposes they did on the original Polaris 68, which used a case made by Irvin Piquerez known as the Super Compressor. JLC made this case. In fact, they made the entirety of the watch. Now, taking a quick look at some of these features and functions, you can see there's a bidirectional rotating internal bezel, and that's loomed. Line that up with the minute hand. Now you have an impromptu 0 to 60 count up timer, and I actually prefer this to a chronograph because it's easier to read a diving bezel. You also don't have the same concerns about 30-minute registers, which are germane to most chronographs. Now, there's also a crown that allows you to set the alarm. And in fact, not only does it allow you to set the alarm, but it also allows you to operate the quick set for the date. And the caliber 956 in this watch debuted on the original tribute to Polaris in 2008. That was the first JLC Memovox with a conventional quick set. The crown down at 4 o'clock has hacking seconds, and you can set the watch as well as wind the watch through that crown, though it is automatic winding. The Memovox index is actually loomed, so you can set this watch in the dark if you wish. Now, lining up the Memovox index allows you to set the alarm for demonstration's sake. Let's listen. And it will sound for between 20 and 30 seconds when the alarm is fully wound. The watch is automatic winding, but the alarm must be manually wound. Now you can see here, in contrast to the tribute to Polaris and the original Polaris 68, the indices and the numerals are applique rather than printed features. And you can see a few different finishes of black on this dial. There's more of a pebbly, granular, rusticated finish to the hour track, and then inboard you can see it's matte metal, as is the bezel outboard. Underneath the dial, JLC caliber 956. Unidirectional automatic winding with ceramic rotor bearings. It has a 45-hour power reserve. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has the alarm, hacking seconds, and a quick set date. Pivots on 23 joules, and uses a spire profile to its gear train that was co-developed with JLC in a consortium. Basically, it's a more efficient gear train. The movement has a lot to recommend it, including a free-sprung regulator that adds to its shock tolerance, and it goes through the Master 1000 Hours control, which is a fully cased up test, not just of the movement, but of the full watch. There's a chronometry element, there's a shock resistance element, a water resistance element, power reserve, and winding efficiency. All of that and 1000 hours of testing. So you can tell that this was one of the first standards out in 1992 that surpassed the bare test of the COSC chronometer evaluation. And of course, you can see Master 1000 Hours control written up at the top of the case back. All of this water resistant down to 200 meters. It is a very versatile watch and could easily be your only watch. It remains a dive watch, even in the modern day, and one of the most distinctive JLC designs of all time. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And I'm back with the Polaris 68. You can see the internal rotating bezel as well as the index for setting the alarm, all visible at night.